Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the development of transport and communication in England. There was a remarkable improvement in the 19th century in the social life, particularly in the progress of transport and communication. During the period of Victorian age, the important means of transport was the railways. And why they started the railways is to transport the coal from the mines to the other places. But we can say that railways is a gift of England to the world. It was George Stephenson who invented the first railway engine and he named it as Active. And this started from Stockton to Darlington in 27th September 1825. After a few years, he invented a more powerful engine which can pull the train at a speed of 30 miles per hour and he called it Rocket. And this engine connected Liverpool and Manchester on 15th September 1830. And it was in this opening inaugural function the former cabinet minister William Huskinson was killed, and therefore it also turned out to be the first railway accident. And within a decade, longer railways were built, and London was connected by railway with Birmingham, Brighton, and Manchester in 1838. And the 35 years gap between the two reform bills can be called as the railway age because fast moving engines were invented and better compartments were provided. And many railway companies were started, and most important among them was the one which was started by George Hudson, who is popularly known as the railway king. And in about 15 years, England was covered with a network of railways. In 1843, it covered 2000 miles. In another 5 years, it covered 5000 miles. And in 1860, it covered 10,000 miles. And by 1890, it covered 20,000 miles. And in 1844, the government brought the Cheap Trains Act, which compelled the railway companies to run at least one train a day in each direction at a reasonable fare of 1 penny a mile. And in 1873, the Board of Trade was attached to the Railway Commission and they had the power to fix the rates for the carriage of goods and merchandise. And this railway caused the death knell of roads and canals because the public mail coach and the heavy family coach disappeared from the roads, but they were still used by a few people for connecting the by roads, connecting the railway stations and the towns. And the roads again gained its importance only when the motor vehicles came into use, and the fashionable bicycles were also reason for the roads again getting its popularity. But this motor car and motor bicycle came only after the death of Queen Victoria, that is after 1901 now. And the rapid growth of the railway was also accompanied by the development of English shipping. Earlier ships were made with wood, but now they were made with iron, and the steams replaced the sails. That is, the wooden ships were traveled by sails, but now they were steamships. And by 1847, these steamships were very small and they were also few. But in 1850s and 60s, big ships were made. And these iron ships were afterwards made by steel. And they traveled even more faster because they were propelled by steam. And by 1855, we can say that 1/3 of the world's seagoing ships belong to Britain. And another outstanding development was in the area of communication because of the introduction of the penny post in 1840. And penny post was a result of the efforts of Sir Rowland Hill, who was originally a teacher by profession. Before penny post, sending letters were very costly and the poor people could not afford to send a letter to their dear ones. And even the revenue which reached the government was very small. So Rowland brought certain proposals, like he said a lower rate of postage will make many people to send letters, and therefore the government will get a lot of revenue because the volume of mail will increase. And second is, all the postage rates must be the same regardless of the distance it is taken, and all the mails should be prepaid, that is, they should pay before the letter, when they are sending the letter itself. And this made the introduction of the postage stamp. Now the poor people also started writing letters to their dear ones, and this new postal system was so very successful that it became popular all over the world. And in the same year, electric telegraph was also introduced, and this was the invention of Samuel Morse. He built this electric telegraph in 1843, and the first telegraph line was in the United States from Baltimore to Washington. And in the next year, he sent the first message on this line, "What bath got wrought." And the electric telegraph originated as an adjunct of the new railway system. And by 1848, over 1,800 miles of railways was equipped by electric telegraph wires. And this electric telegraph company was formed in 1846, and it had 17 offices in London by 1854. And the first successful cable was laid in 1866. And in 1870s, Stearns and Edison, they developed methods so that you can send more messages at the same time. And in 1856, Alexander Graham Bell, he invented the telephone, and he was an American. And in 1856, he exhibited an apparatus where he could transfer sound by electricity. That is, sound can be sent from one place to another place using electricity. And 2 years later, when he visited England, he demonstrated his invention before Queen Victoria. And immediately she gave him a patronage. And because of this, the first telephone exchange was opened in London in 1879 with 7 or 8 subscribers. Several telephone companies were organized in Great Britain, and the government gradually took over the service, and today telephone is one of the easiest means of communication. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box, like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.